Actually, I used the business version of this card. Funny story, I actually lost it when I was traveling. And as soon as I lost it, this is what I did. Hey, what's going on, my friends? All right, my name is Chris, and in this video, I want to talk to you about Wise. My experience using Wise, TransferWise. This is not an affiliated or sponsored video, though. If you do want to get into using Wise, you could use my affiliate link. It's an honest review on Wise. I want to do one. I haven't done one in a while. I use them to move around money because I'm a freelancer. I think that Wise is very useful for freelancers. Probably their number one customers are freelancers, people that do business online, people that have different sources of income in different currencies from different countries potentially. I'll explain to you why Wise is good for that. I'll explain to you why Wise is better than banks for exchanging currency. Some people do not understand it, and I'm answering some questions that I've seen in other YouTubers' comment sections of the general public asking certain questions, not clearly understanding why Wise is better than banks for certain things and what is the main benefit of using Wise. So thank you very much for watching. My name is Chris. I make software tutorials related to interactive brokers, Sierra Chart, other trading software. If you guys require specialized remote assistance, you can reach out to me, and you can go to my webpage, VerrilloTrading.com/tips if you want to support this video with a one-time donation, or go to VerrilloTrading.com/remote-assistance if you need help using the trading softwares that I just mentioned. Okay, so I use Wise for when I travel. I use Wise to pay my employees. I use Wise to pay for things when I'm out on the go. Wise is not a bank. I do not recommend holding large sums of money in a Wise account. And also use Wise at your own discretion. I'm not recommending that anybody here uses Wise. I'm just explaining to you guys that I use Wise in my everyday business, and I do not hold large sums of money in my Wise account. If I'm gonna hold large sums of money, it's gonna be in a brokerage account or in some kind of a checking account that has deposit insurance. So for example, my stockbroker, Interactive Brokers, has insurance, asset insurance, for depending on where you're located. For me, I think it's about up to 5 million or 10 million USD in assets per account. And don't quote me on that. I don't know the exact number, but it's something like that. If you want to check out Interactive Brokers, use the link down below, and it's going to support this content as well. I appreciate that. They give you this Visa debit card, and you can have virtual cards. You don't actually need this physical card. You got virtual cards on your phone, and you can just Apple Pay, iPhone, right? You can Apple Pay using any of the virtual cards. And they're all Visa, so they're widely supported around the world. You know, I can go to Costa Rica or Colombia and pay using Apple Pay if they support Apple Pay with Visa, because most places accept Visa. And you can pay in the local currency. What's cool about Wise is that they have a lot of really, really interesting features, probably most that I won't be able to cover in this video, but here, I'll give you a few examples to start. The main reason for using Wise, as opposed to using a bank with potentially a zero fee exchange rate credit card or something like that, is because you get to lock in exchange rates that are basically what the spot market is. They call it the mid-market exchange rate, but really what the proper term is, it's the correct spot exchange rate for what the currency is currently trading at. So if I go over to my screen over here, I know right now that the spot exchange rate for US dollar against the Canadian is 1.37310, and it's currently trading and moving around. So when you go on Wise, if I go on Wise and I try to do a currency conversion here, if I have US dollars in my balance and I want to convert this to Canadian dollars, let's say I want to convert $23, it tells me the rate right here of 1.3730, which is pretty much exactly the same as the rate right now. It is the rate. You know, it varies. Sometimes it'll vary about maybe 20, 30 ticks away. And of course, if it's a more remotely traded currency pair, like something that people don't trade every day, it's one of those emerging markets or emerging countries, the spreads might be a little bit wider. You won't get exactly the best rate. But what I've seen for a lot of currencies, like the one that I was converting to, which is Costa Rican colones, that one is pretty close. In fact, it's a pretty good rate. So what's good about it is it allows you to lock in exchange rates. If you want to convert your currency to another currency, you can do so on Wise at their low transparent fee, and they tell you exactly what the fee is that you're going to pay. So if I convert, say, this much money, it tells me that that would be the fee paid, and the fee is a percentage of the total transaction. So anytime you pay a fee with Wise, it tells you what the fee is. And there's no hidden fees, there's no monthly fees, there's no account minimums to use Wise, but there are fees whenever you send money abroad, whenever you make transfers to other people. Unless it's a Wise to Wise transfer. If you're sending money to someone else on Wise, there's no fee for that. There are fees when you convert currency, and there's fees to send money to a foreign bank account somewhere else in the world, or to a bank account in general. And the other thing is in regards to spending money. So you can spend money from your Wise balance using one of their debit cards. Again, it doesn't have to be the physical card. It could be the digital card right on your Apple Pay or Google Pay or whatever you use. And you spend money using that. And let's say you don't have the currency in your account. So let's say you're in the USA and you only have Canadian dollars in your Wise balance. It'll auto convert the Canadian dollars to US dollars to take care of that transaction. Obviously, if you don't have the funds in your Wise account to handle the purchase you're making, then it won't go through. It's going to get declined because it's a debit account. It's the same thing as if you use a debit card and you're taking money directly from your checking account to pay for something. It's a debit. They don't offer credit cards or anything like that. So you need the money in your balance. So in your Wise account, you see you have different balances here, and you can open up balances in different currencies, and you can convert the money from one balance to another balance. And if you don't have the currency in the balance that's required to make the purchase you're doing, so let's say I'm at a store and I made a purchase in Canadian dollars using this Wise account here, it's going to auto convert the balance from my USD balance and pay for it using that. And when it auto converts, there's a small fee there. It's really nothing crazy, but for example, I can show you. Here, there's an Uber transaction here where I spent 3,000 colones, and I didn't have 3,000 colones in my Wise balance. So what it did was it auto converted my USD to pay for that 3,000 colones purchase. And if you look at this transaction, you can see it converted $5.62 US dollars at whatever the rate was at the time that the purchase happened. In that case, the rate was 1 USD is equal to 534 colones, Costa Rican colones, and they did put a conversion fee. So when you're using this auto conversion feature, they do tell you that there's a slight fee associated with that. Basically, it's a conversion fee. So whether you convert the money yourself or you use the auto conversion, both of them incur a fee. It's the same thing, no matter what you do. So you don't have to convert your currency to the currency that you're paying in, unless you want to lock in a rate for like a large amount of money or something that you plan on traveling, at a certain time, and you know that you're going to need a certain amount of funds in your account, so you want to lock in a rate for that. But you're not obliged to do that. If you just want to keep your funds in your home currency and then use their auto convert feature, it ends up being the same thing. So it's pretty fine. The reason why using Wise is important, and it's better than using a bank, I'll explain it to you now. If you have a zero foreign exchange fee credit card with your bank, what that means is that you can go to Europe or any other country that's not your home country, and you can go and pay using your zero foreign exchange fee credit card. And every time you make a purchase, it charges the value of your purchase in your home currency. But the problem is, here's the problem. You have no foreign exchange fee, right, on the credit card. But the exchange rate that the banks use is not typically what the real exchange rate is. They always mark it up by like 2-3%. So you're still paying 3%. And again, credit card companies have different exchange rates. I don't really know what they are. Some of them don't even disclose what they are. I think that American Express is known for having some of the closest ones to the mid-market rate, but they still mark it up a little bit. I don't know by how much, maybe about 1 or 2%. Again, I don't know. Someone tell me if you know American Express's markup rate for when you spend money in a foreign currency, let me know what it is. But yeah, banks will typically use their own markup rates for foreign exchange, and it's typically somewhere around 2 to 3%. Meaning that they're marking up the exchange rate by about 3 cents on each dollar, which is going to add up to be a lot if you're starting to spend a lot of money. And on top of that, if you have a credit card that has a foreign exchange fee, all American Express cards where I'm from, they have a 2.5% foreign exchange fee. So you add that on top of whatever they're marking up the rate, and you end up paying somewhere like a fee of 5% on each transaction. So now that you understand that, you can clearly see why Wise is cheaper. It's about 5% cheaper. Let's say you spend $100,000. What's 5% of $100,000? It's an extra $5,000. Instead, it could be in your pocket. You could use it to take out your family for dinner. or to buy food for your kids. So another reason why I'm making this video is to pretty much build an awareness about Wise, mostly for my friends and family. Like, I know some of you guys are watching this, you're thinking, hey, this guy's just doing affiliate marketing, but it's not true. I actually get a lot of questions from my close friend circle and from my family about, you know, when I'm traveling abroad, how do I spend in the local currency? And really, the way I do it is I use Wise. So when I go to Costa Rica, I use my Wise Visa card, my Visa debit card. Actually, I use the business version of this card. Funny story, I actually lost it when I was traveling. And as soon as I lost it, this is what I did. On the Wise app, you open it up and you go to your card, and then you click on your card, and you can even see the card that I lost is still there frozen. And you select the card, and there's one button right there where you can just freeze the card. It's literally one button. You press the button, it freezes the card, nobody can use your card. If somebody finds your card on the street, they think it's their lucky day, the card has already been frozen, all you have to do is press one button, it freezes your card. And the good thing is that I lost the physical card, but they have a digital card, digital version of the same card, which uses your same account. It's still attached to the same account, you can see here at the top. That's the name of my account. And I have two cards attached to it. One of them is the physical card that I lost. The other one is the digital card. And that one I have on my Apple Pay. So I can still pay using this Wise business account using Apple Pay, which is very convenient, and I appreciate that a lot. One other cool thing about Wise that I appreciate very much is that they let you withdraw from foreign ATMs. So you can withdraw the local currency of where you're going. So when I went to Costa Rica, I was withdrawing Costa Rican colones using this card because I lost the other one, unfortunately. So what I actually had to do was I had to transfer funds from my commercial account to my personal Wise account. And then I would use this card, put it into their ATM, and then I would say I want to withdraw 100,000 colones, and then you would get the money out of the machine, and then it would tell you if you paid a fee on top of it. And what I found is that when I withdrew past a certain threshold, it charged me a fee. But when I was under that threshold, there was no fee for withdrawing cash out of the ATM, which was really interesting. Normally when you withdraw out of ATMs, especially foreign ATMs, you get charged fees galore. But when I withdrew about 75,000 colones, which is not much money, I think it might be maybe a couple $100. I think it's like $150 US. I withdrew that money from the ATM. I didn't pay any fee on Wise, no extra fee anywhere. So I know that there's a threshold with certain ATMs. If you withdraw more than a certain amount, then they might charge you a fee, you know, $2, $3, $4. But if you keep your withdrawals under that threshold, no fee. At least that's what I found. Okay, I withdrew 75,000, there was no fee. And I did it multiple times. I did it at least 3-4 times, and I didn't pay a fee any of those times. As soon as I exceeded that threshold, they charged a fee every time, okay? You know, anytime I'm traveling to foreign countries like the USA, Central America, Europe, I will probably be using my Wise accounts to make purchases, unless I have the cash in those currencies. You know, I might have US dollar cash because I play the guitar, but that's another story. But if I'm going to Central America, you can bet that I'm going to be using Wise to make purchases using Apple Pay directly from my Wise business account or my Wise personal account, depending on which one I want to use. Now, I've seen some people asking, what's the difference between a Wise business account and a Wise personal account? Well, in order to get a Wise business account, you need a registered business. You need a registered corporation from wherever you're from. So I'm in Quebec over here. So I was able to open a Wise business account under the name of my corporation. What's interesting about the Wise business account is that if you go to payments, there's some interesting features here, like you can do batch payments, which means sending payments to multiple people at the same time. You can also create invoices, which is interesting. I haven't used it yet. I haven't tested it out. I usually use Stripe or PayPal to create invoices. You can also assign different users to manage your business account. You know, Wise has a lot of features to it. I definitely recommend checking out Wise if you are a freelancer. Wise is not a bank. I do not recommend holding large sums of money in a Wise account. And also use Wise at your own discretion. I'm not recommending that anybody here uses Wise. I'm just explaining to you guys that I use Wise in my everyday business, and I do not hold large sums of money in my Wise account. If I'm gonna hold large sums of money, it's gonna be in a brokerage account or in some kind of a checking account that has deposit insurance. So for example, my stockbroker, Interactive Brokers, has insurance, asset insurance, for depending on where you're located. For me, I think it's about up to 5 million or 10 million USD in assets per account. And don't quote me on that. I don't know the exact number, but it's something like that. If you want to check out Interactive Brokers, use the link down below and it's going to support this content as well. I appreciate that. So yeah, don't hold large sums of money on Wise, that's for sure. And also don't do any crypto related trades on Wise. I know a lot of people do it, peer-to-peer transactions, meaning that you pay somebody for the purpose of receiving crypto on the other end on a centralized or a decentralized exchange, okay? They don't like it. They say it in their terms and conditions. If they flag your account for transactions that could be related to cryptocurrency trading or could be related to money laundering, they will deactivate your account and you may not be able to access your money. They may just take your money. And I've heard stories like this, but I find it a bit hard to believe. Anyways, guys, use Wise at your own discretion. Let me know what you think of Wise down below. If you guys don't use Wise and you're a freelancer and you operate in multiple currencies, I highly recommend checking out Wise, especially for the features about paying in the local currency of where you're going to travel to, as well as sending and receiving payments in foreign currencies at very nice exchange rates, pretty much right around the current spot exchange rate, no markups there, okay? Thank you very much for watching and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers, take care.